This video demonstrates how to use ukulele tuning on a steel string tenor guitar. Never put steel strings on a ukulele. That's bad. Very, very bad. But you wouldn't do that, right? I mean, why would anyone do that? So, don't do that.
Hey guys, feels like it's been forever since my last official how-to, and I couldn't wait to share my latest journey of discovery. But I guess we can wait just a little bit longer to say, I know how much we all hate the blah blah. So I put timestamps in the description if you just want to jump straight to the good stuff. But it'd be a real shame to miss that part about the t-shirt giveaway.
So whether you're tuning back in or a first-time viewer, YouTube tells me I have 670 followers to date, but that recently, on average, almost 90% of folks watching aren't subscribed. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. Maybe even hit that like button. And if you're really feeling it, share.
I promise I won't spam you. It makes the algorithm happy, which helps me keep making this content.
And just to sweeten the pot a little, when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'll give away this hometown hit t-shirt design in green, size medium, courtesy of Citywide Goods.
Now, if you have been following for a while, came across my channel and started digging a little deeper, or it just popped up in your feed, you may have seen this little guy from 7 years ago.
That was a demo of a tenor guitar I made for a client, and at the last minute he asked if it could be in ukulele tuning, or GCEA. And since then, it seems like I get asked about that at least once a year. Most recently by my current client, after deliberating for weeks over the wide range of tunings for tenor guitar. And at first I thought it was because of confusion over that term tenor, though the two instruments are very different. But when he told me why, it's a way more practical reason, and as far as I found, pretty true. Search Google and you'll find a lot more music, song lessons, and learning resources for uke, across all genres. While it seems like there's as much mystery about the tenor guitar as the secrets of the Freemasons. Keep in mind, we're talking across all genres: pop, rock, jazz, country, folk. Celtic might be the only one where you find more tenor guitar. But I'm really interested to hear your experiences in the comments.
So anyway, at the time I dove in deep researching if and how a tenor guitar could be tuned like a ukulele, a GCEA with a low G. And this is where my first shout out goes to a video I found called How to Tune a Tenor Guitar Like a Ukulele, New and Improved.
You gotta love truth in advertising. And those guys have my eternal gratitude for putting that up.
Now happily, everyone was pleased with how it turned out. But I always wished it had a little bit wider range, especially more low end. So when this latest client made the same request, I felt like this was the time to find out if it was possible. And that's when I had this moment of clarity.
GCEA was across the neck, mostly just a whole step down from the middle four strings of standard guitar tuning, and right in the core of the mid-range and low end I longed for. So here are the two register voicings and their string gauges compared side by side. I'll play them in both flat picking and strumming, and on the same instrument. And while the bridges need to be set up differently because of the different string gauges for each register, I made them from the same piece of Indian rosewood. I also used the same brand of strings for each set, all so that the only difference you hear is just between the two voicings. My go-to strings are Stringjoy because Joey Landreth. and because I couldn't spend any extra time on making this video with 2 clients waiting for their guitars. And they always come up to tune with 2 or 3 pre-stretches at most, and stay there. Every other make I've used takes at least twice that, and still goes out of tune by the end of the day, or the next day. I'm not sponsored by them. Heck, I couldn't even get them to sponsor the video. But their tech support crew treated my research on this like it was top priority, so they were invaluable in making it happen. But enough shilling. Let's shut up and play.
I'm not comparing the two voicings to see which one is better. That's not the point of this at all. In fact, I'm not even going to give my opinion about either one. I really hope you'll comment with your thoughts and impressions. But I do feel like each one might be better suited to different needs or different parts of a song. For example,
In any case, if you want to try the lower register, you'll need to consider the wider diameter, heavier gauge wound strings on your instrument, depending on the overall dimensions, and what gauge strings it's set up for. Keep in mind that generally, the wider the string diameter, the longer the intonation length, so you'll need to figure the bridge and saddle position. With a floating bridge, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But if the bridge is glued, you'll need to do some very careful measuring, and some modification might be needed for accurate intonation. Also, the string slots on the nut and saddle should be wide enough to let the strings sit properly, or there's a good chance you might get some weird wolf tones, not to mention the strings jumping their slots. If you decide to try the upper register voicing, you'll just want to be careful with the gauge of that top A string. Looking at a standard 6-string set for reference, you see that a 10 gauge for the top E string has a tension of 16.2 pounds. In comparison, stock tenor sets also typically come with a 10 for the top string. But for that same gauge, tuned to an A, the tension shoots up to 23.5 pounds. Depending on the scale length, I've found that under that much tension, there's a 50-50 chance of it breaking. So I'd recommend going with a 9.5, or especially on the longer side of the tenor scale, a 9, to bring it down closer to a standard 6-string set. And finally, I put a link in the description for a string gauge guide with a wide variety of tenor guitar tunings for several scale lengths. It's a work in progress, so check back from time to time for updates. I also put my email address if you have any questions. It takes forever to get notified about comments, so email is a lot more reliable if you need an answer fairly quickly.
so that's about it. I hope you found it useful or even helpful if you've ever wondered about it. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.